Welcome to Uxbridge Beat, the podcast where we feature the who's who of Uxbridge, Ontario. My name is Jennifer Neville-Campsell.
And I'm Scott Campsell. Located in what we all know as the Starbucks Plaza, Trail Capital Pharmacy is owned and operated by pharmacist Hank Parsaniya.
In a town like Uxbridge, where we already have a half a dozen pharmacies, why did Hank choose to open his business here? How is his pharmacy different from the others, and why have many of us already switched our files over to him?
As customers, we already know about Hank's excellent customer service and his fantastic team, but we wanted to explore a little further into the life and personality of this incredible man.
Hank, no doubt, is the heart and soul of Trail Capital Pharmacy, so let's find out what puts the caregiving beat into his pharmaceutical heart. Welcome, Hank Parsaniya from Trail Capital Pharmacy here in Uxbridge. Tell us a little bit about you and how you ended up coming to open a pharmacy here in our small little town.
Okay, thank you so much for having me. It's my pleasure. First of all, when Scott told me that he wants to do a podcast, it made me feel very uncomfortable at first because I was like, okay, am I that big of a celebrity or what exactly?
Absolutely.
So thank you for having me. And this is my first ever time doing this kind of a thing. So if in case I stutter somewhere, please ignore. Okay. So now coming to why Uxbridge and what exactly the journey has been. I have been pharmacist since 2014. Initially, I worked for like multiple corporate stores. And so in 2019, I was like, hey, I think I would really like to have my own practice where I make the rules and where whatever good happens, that is my responsibility. Whatever bad happens, that is my problem too. Plus, now because of lots of corporate influence, etc., sometimes it gets trickier when you are like working for somebody compared to when you're working for your own. That was the reason I decided to take a leap of faith. I had zero business experience. All I know is that I want to open a pharmacy, and I looked around few places, and Uxbridge was at the time did look to me very promising. And I drove by. I remember seeing the board saying Trail Capital of Canada. That stuck in my head. Then I did my own due diligence, some research, and I was like, okay, seems like a nice town, and checked few places where I can possibly lease location, and ended up in this plaza. So yeah, I've been here since September 2019, and journey has been fantastic so far.
I'm going to point out the obvious and suggest that you weren't born in Canada.
Yes, that's correct.
Tell us a little bit about where you were born, where you grew up.
Okay, so I was born in a very small village in west part of India. So if you look at map of India, and you'll see like a very center of India, there is like mouth of a crocodile. If you look at it, so on the lower jaw of the crocodile mouth, that's a province called as Gujarat. That's where I am from. And there is a very small village over there called, a village's name is Ginjari. That's where I was born. And I grew up in a small town nearby. That's population is a little less than Uxbridge, I would say. And that's where I did my schooling. After that, I was like, okay, yeah, pharmacy seems interesting. So I went to pharmacy school there. After that, I came over here in 2012. So I've been here in Canada since 2012.
You did all of your education in India.
Yes.
How does that transfer? So you come to Canada now as an immigrant with education that isn't Canadian provided.
Yes.
Did you face several barriers trying to get a job, or was it an easy road? How did that road look like?
The road is very different for everyone. And for me, the good part was that like when I came in, it was the time Canadian government was like, hey, yes, we want to have more pharmacists come over from abroad. So I directly came on PR. How it works with the equivalency is that first you have to, of course, get your certificates and everything organized. Then you have to go to the regulatory body for the pharmacy. That's been called as PEBC. That's like Pharmacy Examining Board of Canada. And there are total main 3 exams you have to do. So the first exam that just gets you like, okay, fine, you know somewhat. And the second and third is basically like any pharmacist in Canada has to do it. Like even if in case they are from U of T or they are from Waterloo, like it's just that equivalency exam. So what they do is that they try to figure out like, say, U of T, their average grades are coming to this one. Like that's like percentile marking system that like everybody has 50 answers right. Then anybody who wants to become a pharmacist that is not from U of T or Waterloo, they need to have at least 50 answers right. That's how they build the average up. So I had to pass my second exam that's called as MCQ and OSCE, that was third exam. And after that, I had to do my internship and everything took almost 2.5 years. Yeah. And then I got my pharmacist license after.
What drew you to Canada?
So my brother is here. Okay. Yeah. So my brother came here in 2003. So I already knew about Canada. And after I got my license, I was like, okay, well, for the pharmacist profession, Canada is a very good country. So,
is your brother in pharmacy as well?
No. He has an ice cream store franchisee in Kitchener.
Ice cream?
Yeah, ice cream. Yeah. Marble Slab.
Oh, well, why don't we should go visit your brother?
Yes, you get some joy there. Like here is just the medicines.
Different kind of medicine is ice cream, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Leading into pharmacy, do you have to have a bachelor, like an undergrad, before you go into a major of that kind of thing?
Now things are different, but before it was that like after grade 12, you can do 4 years of bachelor and then you can get your license to practice as a pharmacist. But now, since last few years, it has basically you do your bachelor's first and then you have to do 4 years of PharmD. That's a doctorate of pharmacy. Then only you can work as a pharmacist. So that has changed quite a bit. So now if in case someone wants to be a pharmacist, it's at least 7 years in school, at least.
Tell us about your family. You're married.
Yes,
you
that's
have
right.
You have a little guy.
Yes.
Tell us about them.
My wife, her name is Vidhi. She is also a pharmacist. She also works at stores sometimes. My son, his name is Vihan. He keeps me on my toes. Yeah.
He went through some health challenges when he was born.
Yes,
Can you tell us a
right.
little about that?
He actually had a major stroke when he was born. From like at the childbirth, was everything perfectly fine. And during the labor, I don't know, I have given up in finding out why whatever happened, but like he had like major stroke when he was born, and we were in NICU at Sick Kids for quite some time, and it was a very scary time.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And he's doing well now?
Yeah, he's doing okay.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
You have some pretty incredible employees at the store. Tell us about them.
I'm fortunately blessed with wonderful people that I work with. I have 2 colleagues at my store. The first one is Krista. Krista has been with me, I think it's almost 3.5 to 4 years, I think. She is amazing whenever it comes to like any people, and she knows quite a few of like everybody in town, and she keeps the store very welcoming and lovely. And I mean, I adore her for that. She does a good job.
She's a wonderful people person.
Yeah, wonderful. Yeah,
and you have
my other colleague's his name is Elish. Yeah, so he is actually the same like me. He's an international pharmacy grad from India, and he's currently doing his diploma course at Durham College. And he works part-time. So he's a hardworking kid. He works with me, plus he goes to school, plus he works at other place. So he's busy 7 days a week, and he's a very hardworking employee for sure.
You're very lucky, aren't you?
Thank you. Indeed. Yes.
What makes your pharmacy different from other pharmacies? Not just generally, but specifically here in Uxbridge.
First of all, my pharmacy, as we spoke earlier, is that it's my own business. I have only one boss, that is my wife. And well, that is Scott can very much relate.
Yes, I can relate to that. I understand your pain. I mean, your joy.
So only one boss to worry about. The main issue what comes into any of the corporate pharmacies is that even if in case you're a wonderful person, still the importance, it's not necessarily based on how you can keep your customers or patients happy. It's more about how you can keep your boss happy. So that's where the main difference comes in. Here, my boss is basically my customer right there in front of standing me. Other thing is that when I am working by myself, like when I am there, I know my patients know me. So it's very much of a relationship business. Yes, we all have the same medicines. There's nothing like I don't sell any special meds. But it's more about when you know patient's history, when you have connection there, then you're able to provide better service and better care.
How much therapy do you provide for your patients, for your clients?
I think sometimes if I close my eyes and I think that, hey, if in case I'm not a pharmacist, what else can I be? I would be very much of a psychotherapist or a counselor or something like that. I enjoy that role very much.
Because I think that you must get a lot of that, right? Where
yes,
a lot of people want to come in and not just pick up their medication, but tell you the whole story about
yes, exactly,
how they got there.
In the pharmacy, one thing very important is that having empathy. Giving you one example, I had a senior patient who literally struggles with their medicines XYZ, and I also know other family members. We do have consents from everybody else to talk to each other. So whenever there is something major health related, I don't call that senior. I rather call that family member, because that senior does not know what to take action of it. Yeah, but rather that I call that family member hey, please make sure that they go for this appointment. I recently saw that there is a dose change in this medicine. What's going on? Or certain cases, there is communication gap somewhere. One patient who all of a sudden started coming over and buying Imodium. So I'm like, hey, what's going on? And she was like, oh, I think I'm having diarrhea. Of course, that's when people buy Imodium. There's no rocket science in there. But
I think I'm having diarrhea. Or you are having diarrhea.
Yes. So
right then.
Yes.
Right, yeah.
The answer is yes.
So the problem comes in is that patient is also suffering from dementia.
Oh.
So now, whether they're having it or not, that's a very complicated conversation, because that person came into my store literally 3 days, every day after day, that, hey, I'm having diarrhea. First day they came in, they got the medicine. Second day, I was like, hey, you still have the medicine. And they again came in third day. So I was like, okay, I need to take some action. So I did know the person's family members, and then we found out that there was some stressors going on. So that's why they were having a bit of issue with the dementia, and we finally were able to provide better care in this situation.
That's wonderful. That's absolutely wonderful. And if somebody had gone into one of the, I don't want to say one of the big name stores, but a big name store and purchased Imodium 3 days in a row, no one would have thought twice about it. They could have even maybe have done the self-checkout and disappeared. And so that's wonderful.
Exactly. So I'm like, that's where it is all about, is that when you know your people know you. It's not necessarily a transaction. It's more of a trust business.
And I will personally attest to that. You will make personal phone calls, and Krista does as well. I know that there was something that you were trying to get a hold of one of us for, and you sent a Facebook message for it. And so it's not unnoticed. And from a personal perspective, that's why I've switched over to you, is that relationship. So thank you for that.
Oh, my pleasure.
Is it a challenge, though? Do you think that there are, because it's not exactly, you're not the only pharmacy in town.
That's correct.
So is it a challenge that the other pharmacies are bigger? Do you think that they're drawing more customers because of their size?
A challenge for sure. But I mean, in any free market economy, as how it works is that basically helps me to do my job better. Motivates me that, hey, how can I stand out among my competition? That for example, why I often ask myself that question, the same one, that why anybody should come to me. That's where, so I mean, a challenge, yes, of course, there are so many big names in town that everybody knows, and I am the newish one in town. So for sure, but my biggest asset is everybody who comes to my store. Once they come in, and they, most of the cases, switch off over their medicine, and they just become my brand ambassadors. They tell everybody hey, Hank is a good guy. You rather support a small guy, and plus you are going to get way better service. And exactly. So that's where the whole business model comes in.
Finding an activity to do with your child that challenges and pushes you both to be better, that builds character, and is something you can learn together is a fantastic thing.
At Okamikai Martial Arts and Fitness, we thrive on positive feedback from our students, so you can just imagine how happy we were to hear from Jessica and her daughters as they gave their thoughts about our classes.
Classes are always fun, and I always learn something new.
fun and learning, all while getting out and getting active. That's one of our goals, and according to these amazing ladies, we're doing our job and doing it well.
I see the excitement and the joy that they have to go to class to learn and improve.
Contact us today to find out what everyone is talking about. Our family can't wait to meet your family.
Okomikai is my favorite place to be.
Okamikai Martial Arts and Fitness. Check us out at okamikai.com.
Everything is my favorite thing to do in class.
Over the last couple of years, the government changed some rules,
Yes,
right?
yes, that's correct.
And so it was like you had to go see a doctor, or you had to go go to a walk-in or whatever if you had certain ailments. But now there are those, in order to sort of offload those from
Yes, that's correct.
those healthcare providers, you're able to diagnose. Can you tell us a little bit about what that list is?
Yes, this is changing day by day. So today we are speaking, and maybe in 6 months, this list would be a bit more expanded. Very popular one is UTIs, basically bladder infections.
I was going to guess it. Yeah.
Yes. And the other very popular one is cold sores, and also tick bite prophylaxis. So basically somebody has a tick bite, like what to do after. Tick bite has been very popular in this area, unfortunately. Not necessarily each and every case needs to be treated. So as a pharmacist, I can prescribe, if appropriate, doxycycline. That is one of the medicines for it. Hemorrhoids also pharmacists can prescribe. There are currently, I think, 19 minor elements. If in case you're not sure, what you can do, of course, is that you can just call me at pharmacy, and I would be happy to answer that if I can help you or not. Or I have listed that on my website. If you there is a button there, like click here to see the minor elements thing, and there is a list of the things that I can prescribe.
And that must help the doctors and the nurse practitioners be able to offload some of those
100%.
issues so that they can deal with bigger cardiac care things and stuff like that.
Exactly. Yeah. So I mean, that's the ideal goal of it. So basically, if in case somebody has giving you an example of bladder infection, you cannot wait and watch, or you have to make sure you go to a walk-in clinic if you are able to get in, or you have to book an appointment with your family doctor. And if those avenues are not available, your only option is emerge.
What would you say, just off the top of your head, is the most commonly prescribed medication?
Very good question. I would go more with the statins. They are used for cholesterol lowering.
Oh, isn't that unfortunate? So of all the medication that we could probably get off through diet and exercise is the most commonly prescribed medication.
If I have to guess, those are the, you both are very famous in health and fitness industry. So generally, I think, including me, we all know what is right, but how to motivate ourselves to do what is right. That's where the whole game is, I think.
How pricey is that kind of medication?
Those are not pricey.
No.
Well,
No, the pricier ones are usually something called like monoclonal antibodies. They are more of the newer medicines, biologics. They can be anywhere from like $500 to $5,000 or like $10,000.
So it pays to look after your health more than it does to buy the medication.
100%, not a single question about it. That's where that's something I very importantly tell to all of my patients who come over. Especially we can say generalize certain things. For example, the cholesterol thing. That is there any way, if you make your diet and lifestyle changes very effective, and can you chances of reduce the medicine or stop it? It's a possibility, but most important is that you need to make sure that you continue taking it as prescribed. And then, like after 6 months or a year, your doctor would have definitely told you, hey, we need to do a follow-up blood work. And if your levels are good, yes, nobody wants you to have taking more medicines. That's for sure. Yeah.
What should we do with leftover medicine? So, for example, stuff that's expired, stuff that isn't being used anymore, everything from over-the-counter Imodium, for example, to pills, and the other one that comes to mind are inhalers. What do we do with all that stuff?
We do dispose basically unused or expired medicines. What I usually request to everybody is that empty all the tablets and everything in a clear Ziploc bag. And it shows, so basically that way there is no confidential information there. Then you can just bring over that Ziploc bag to the pharmacy. If you have any liquids, try to just scratch off your name and just bring over the liquid bottle to the pharmacy, and we do dispose it off for you, and it doesn't cost you anything at all.
Wonderful. And inhalers?
Yes, inhalers also the same thing.
So we shouldn't just put those into aerosol disposal?
I mean, like, so it depends on if in case it's just empty.
Right.
Then yeah, sure, just aerosol disposal, that's fine. Like then it's just plastic or aerosol. But if in case it is like you had an inhaler that you never used and then you need to dispose it, then yeah, sure, you can bring it over.
We're going to do a section called rapid fire.
Okay.
And you can answer them as quickly as you want, or you can elaborate. That's fine.
Okay.
So sometimes it's a little less than rapid. Winter or summer?
Summer.
I figured that. Dogs or cats?
Dogs.
Favorite kind of music?
Indian classical.
Wow.
Yeah, it's very easygoing music, and most of people know like English is not my first language. I started learning English when I was 18. Music is something I find it difficult to get grasp of when I am like if in case it's any other language, then like my mother tongue or like other languages, Hindi. Those are the two languages I usually listen to the music of.
You speak excellent English though. Like have only started learning at age 18.
Yeah.
You speak excellent English. Really, really good English.
Thank you.
What's your favorite movie?
Actually, it's Shawshank Redemption. I love that movie. That just reminds me of almost everything.
What's the best part of being a pharmacist?
I get to connect with people, and I try to make a little positive difference in somebody's life and maybe bring them a little smile if possible.
And what's the worst part of your job? Maybe not of being a pharmacist. Maybe it's just generally being a business owner.
Business owner, I enjoy it. Not too much of a trouble. It's sometimes just dealing with the insurance companies. Mm-hmm. That one drives me bananas.
What was your biggest challenge? You said you have no business experience whatsoever. Mm-hmm. So what do you think as a business owner is your biggest challenge?
So biggest challenge was that, like, for example, first time when I opened the pharmacy, I thought that as soon as I opened the doors, people would be lining up out of the doors. Yeah. But of course, the bubble, like I still remember, maybe that was second month or so. Like I sat in the pharmacy on Sunday the whole day and not a single person walked in the door. So I was like, oh my God, like, because the expenses start coming from the day one. You are, of course, business owners, so you know that. So I was like, what I'm going to do, how I'm going to survive that. And I closed up the pharmacy. I went up there, and I got in the car. I was driving out and I saw someone trying to open the door. So I was like, oh my God, somebody's coming and so I parked my car right there and I was like, hey buddy, what do you need? Like, can I help you something?
Do you need hemorrhoid medication?
So exactly. So that person just needed to get some Tylenol. So I was like, yes, please. I'm happy to, because it was killing me that I did not make a single cent that day. Forget about making a single cent. It was a super 100% loss there. And so I was like, I'm happy to that at least it was that day I at least made $3 that day.
So how do you overcome that? Because you're right. We are business owners and there are so many different avenues that you can advertise and market yourself. We find the best thing is word of mouth. You said it yourself, that people go out and talk. But how did you first get the word out that you were open and you were running and you want to have people come in and see you on Sunday?
Yeah. So I mean, like after that, fortunately, I now since 1 year I have been closed on Sundays. So that's been a big relaxing thing. But so the overcoming is, honestly, I, of course, Google like everybody else that what are the ways to market your service. And I did everything that was there. I was like, people said, send out flyers. I sent out flyers. People said, do advertisement on radio. I did that. Do the advertisement on paper, this, that, like going to the community events, everything, whatever you say. And everything was going all right. And all of a sudden, COVID was there. That was even more scarier time because nobody was going nowhere and everybody were just going to their familiar places. And my business would only survive if people are willing to go to an unfamiliar place. So during that time, whatever that I thought of went wrong. Then I was like, okay, now what to do? And then COVID vaccinations and everything got started on. And like that, of course, helped me build quite a bit of like lots of people were able to come in for the vaccinations, and that did support me quite a bit. And slowly the word of mouth started working out. So
You are pretty present on social media.
one of the very easy ways of connecting to everybody. I try to be like, I don't necessarily enjoy making those all serious posts. Sometimes I try to be funny, interesting, and those things that like helps me connect.
What makes you laugh?
I like the sarcasm, and I am a big fan of political stand-up comedies. And of course, nowadays there is quite a bit of comedy happening everywhere in that. That you wouldn't neglect.
What makes you angry?
I tend not to get angry very often, actually. But now I think of it, nothing makes me angry very much at all. Yeah, I know.
What a wonderful quality. If you could talk
We need to talk to his wife. That's it.
Yeah, actually, that's what makes her angry.
What makes her angry? I tend to forget.
You tend to forget.
I tend to forget whatever she like tells. Like, I do remember quite a few other things, but like I tend to forget if she told me to do something, and that I get in big trouble for.
If you could spend some time with somebody who's alive right now and have a coffee or a beverage of some sort, just to have a conversation and to learn a few things, who would that be?
As I said, like for example, I do enjoy political satire and everything. So somebody that I find very interesting, and his content is also very interesting. That guy's name is Johnny Harris. He was actually a Vox journalist, and now he has his own YouTube channel, and he does quite a bit of geopolitics videos. Anytime in politics, everyone comes with their opinion, but that guy, I find that he is somewhat of non-biased, and I love his takes. I love his videos and everything. And I would be like very keen to have a chat with him, like ask him multiple questions, because I'm very of like avid listener and reader of his content. Yeah, his name is Johnny Harris.
If there's one person who's now passed away that you'd like to spend some time with and have a beverage and pick their brain, who would that be?
Gandhi. Like in my language, we say like Mahatma Gandhi. Mahatma means like bigger soul. So he is from the same area I am from in India. Something that I found his like his explanation and everything very interesting about alcohol or any kind of things that I found it like that has stuck with me, like whatever the way he said. So I'm like, for example, I don't drink at all, and I have never tasted alcohol, not for religious reasons, like because most of my cousins and everybody drinks, is nothing like that. But it's more about what he told me, and it touched me. So since then, I'm like curious to know many of his viewpoints in like multiple things.
When you die and you go to heaven, what do you hope God says to you?
Welcome to Trail Capital Pharmacy.
All of heaven has now become. So we went from the smallest pharmacy in town to the largest. All of heaven. Welcome to Trail Capital Pharmacy. Wow, that's aspirations.
A lot of people have like emotional answers.
Yeah.
Hank's thinking big on this one.
I've never, like, that question caught me off guard. I never thought like, I had to answer that question. So I know that.
Think big.
Think big. Well, thank you for answering all our questions and spending the time with us. I know that you're done work now, and you should head home and see your little guy, and as he's keeping you on your toes.
Oh, indeed.
I really enjoyed that interview. Hank is such a lovely man. And Hank wanted to also make it very clear to listeners that patients always check with their primary healthcare providers whenever there are ailments that are outside of a pharmacist's scope of practice. So moving on from there, I am so glad that you and I have switched our files over to that pharmacy. I think we're in good hands.
Yeah, for 4 years, we've been doing this podcast, and there seems to be one constant theme, is that everybody really likes the small town feel of Uxbridge. And it's probably less now, but every time there's even a talk of a new subdivision getting built or new homes coming in, everybody says, oh, I really want to keep our small town. Small businesses in town seem to be the cornerstone or the staple of what makes a small town feel friendly and that community minded. We went shopping on the weekend. We went to Rutledge Jewelers. We talked to Scott. It wasn't just a matter of going in and buying jewelry, or I had to get a ring resized. And so Scott and I are bantering back and forth and teasing each other. And we go over to Lisa Hutchison over the Passionate Cook. And yeah, we may have bought some cheese and some stuff, but we were having a conversation. She wants to get into horse riding, and I hope she does that. And I can refer her over to Diane Smallin over at Bilby Ranch. And we ended up going down to Uxbridge Tailoring, and just that whole vibe, not just going into big businesses or big box stores, but being able to interact with people that own their own businesses, and you can have a relationship and there's that personal connection. I think that's a strong part of what makes our town so unique.
We have both personal and professional relationships with Hank and with Krista over at the pharmacy. And I think that has served us so well. We can not only call the pharmacy, but I can send Krista a text, or we can send Hank a Facebook message, and we get what we need, and we get it quickly and with care and thoughtfulness. And I think truly that that's the difference between that pharmacy and that business owner versus the others in town. And I am never looking back. I think we'll always keep our files there.
I remember watching Andy Griffith or Andy of Maybury or whatever that was called. And I remember he'd get on the phone and he'd start talking to Sarah, who was the switchboard operator. And you want to know small town? That's it. To me, I don't know if you're going to find that in downtown Toronto. I'm sure there's neighborhoods that feel like that, but there's something about small town business that, again, just really makes you feel warm and fuzzy.
So whether it's Hank over at Trail Capital, we hope it is, or the other small businesses in town, please strongly consider moving your business over to the business owners that really, really care and give back to our community.
This has been a Capsule Broadcasting production.
My right foot started tingling, and then my left foot began tingling.
Oh, I've had that.
You know what it is?
No.
Would you like to know?
If you'd like to tell me.
Your foot's asleep. That's what I said.
I told you.
This is ridiculous, wasting valuable time on drivel, talking about people's feet falling asleep.
That's probably Maud.
Cora, too. I wonder what causes that.
I don't know.
I have that every now and then. Maybe I ought to go see their doctor.
You mean the daughter who went north to college?
No, Maud. She went west. The one with her father's nose.
Oh, of course. Moosey. What about her?
Her feet fell asleep, too.
Outrageous. Sheer idiocy. I can't believe this is happening to me. A public utility being tied up like this. You people are living in another world.
Easy, Mr. Tucker.
This is the 20th century. Don't you realize that? The whole world is living in a desperate space age. Men are orbiting the Earth. International television has been developed. And here, a whole town is standing still because two old women's feet fall asleep.